Greetings from LA, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And today, if you don't mind, I would very much like to continue on with our journeys, our discussions, our discoveries, and our explorations with respect to the recent releases made by the Criterion Collection during this year of 2023. And I have here in my hands one of such recent releases, that being the multi-disc Blu-ray set, Jackie Chan, Emergence of a Superstar. I apologize for the poor focus of my camera work. I hope you can forgive me, but here it is, the multi-disc Blu-ray set. 4 discs, in fact, and this is the Digipack release. I've already removed, for purposes of this discussion, the booklet. We'll talk about this a little bit later. This is comprehensively at spy number, or collectively at spy number 1197. It has 6 films, which are spread out over 4 Blu-ray discs. On Blu-ray disc number 1, we had Half a Loaf of Kung Fu and Spiritual Kung Fu. On Blu-ray disc number 2, we had The Fearless Hyena and Fearless Hyena 2. And on Blu-ray disc number 3, we had The Young Master. And on the 4th and final Blu-ray disc, we had the 6th film, which is My Lucky Stars. So this charts the course of films featuring Jackie Chan, in a couple of instances also directed by Jackie Chan, and over the course of these 6 films. Not all of the films that are known in terms of, say, the Jackie Chan early period are included here. So you're not going to get every single early, quote-unquote, early film of Jackie Chan's in this. So if you're looking for, say, I don't know, Drunken Master or something, you're going to have to go elsewhere. But if you are looking for something that does have a good representation of, quote-unquote, this period, the late 70s into the early 80s, and also a good representation of what one might call Jackie Chan's production, professional relationship with Lo Wai, and also the Golden Harvest films, I think this is a good indication of that. So it doesn't cover everything, but it has a good collection of films. So this is Jackie Chan, Emergence of a Superstar. And as I mentioned in our previous discussions, it might not necessarily be for everyone the key, essential Jackie Chan film release. It's not necessarily the one-stop shop. There are other releases of these films that have other things, other commentary tracks, etc. So it doesn't have everything that has ever been made. It doesn't have, say, a cross-section of all the versions where applicable, etc. But there are some interesting points of note here, such as the availability of what are referred to as some contemporarily recorded English dubs for certain of the films. I'm speaking specifically of my experience with The Young Master and My Lucky Stars, for those who might be interested in that. And also the availability of what I understand are new commentary tracks by Frank Zheng, an expert and just real knows these films through and through, and he gives the commentary tracks to 2 of the films here. Not for all. It would have been great if it could have been for all, but not for all, but for 2 of them. And in many ways, they're kind of the key films, because they are the 2 films that are also directed by Jackie Chan, those being The Fearless Hyena and The Young Master. So we get those strong points, I think. There are some points of criticism for this Criterion set, as I've mentioned over the course of the past videos, but there are some points of strength as well. And overall, I'm very pleased with how this looks and sounds, and the collection of films. While not complete, per se, it's a very good collection. I should point out, too, there's an interesting detail that I noticed, which was the director of Half a Loaf of Kung Fu, the first film in this 6-film set, is credited as Chan Chi-hua, and Chan is spelled C-H-A-N in the materials. And I was always familiar with the name. I'm not an expert when it comes to Hong Kong cinema, martial arts cinema, Jackie Chan cinema. Far from it. But based on my own past experience with the film Half a Loaf of Kung Fu, I'd always saw the name spelled C-H-E-N. So it's interesting to see the Criterion booklet, an essay, for instance, refer to the name spelling as C-H-A-N. That also includes, I should note, the essay. In any event, let's talk about some other aspects of this release, which are, again, the films that are spread out over the 4 Blu-ray discs included in this great digipack, and it's this sort of box-like, not plastic casing, although there's some plastic employed in some of the inside portions, but it's this outer compartment and inner compartment. So let's see here. Let's put the outer shell here. And the inner shell looks like this. So the Young Master, Half a Loaf of Kung Fu, the Fearless Hyena on one side, and then Jackie Chan, Emergence of a Superstar with the spine number, and on the back, Spiritual Kung Fu, My Lucky Stars, Fearless Hyena, or on one of the sides, I should say. I don't know which is the front, which is the back, but because the way that they're featured, it's out of order in terms of chronology. So because Young Master was I think in 80, and Half a Loaf of Kung Fu was in the late 70s, and so the order, they're not in chronological order per se, but it's interesting that they're featured here in this way. So I should point out too that as I mentioned, the films aren't they're for the most part presented in chronological order, except for Fearless Hyena 2 and The Young Master, which I think is understandable given how one film, the Fearless Hyena, which came later, could be considered kind of to be sort of spiritual sequel in a way. I mean, it has the title, of course, but there are certain similarities between that and the earlier film, The Fearless Hyena, and also the Lo Wai connection. So it could be said, therefore, to have that one exception to the chronological ordering means that having Fearless Hyena 2 come after the Fearless Hyena makes the first 4 films of the set kind of the Lo Wai period of the early Jackie Chan filmography, while the last 2 films, Young Master and My Lucky Stars, while Young Master technically was, I understand, released prior to Fearless Hyena 2, it could be said to be part of the Golden Harvest period. I'm okay in terms of the ordering there. But speaking of the going back here, we have the opening here, which has the discs. And sorry about this, sometimes they're not quite in that order. But the first disc, Half a Loaf of Kung Fu, Spiritual Kung Fu. The second disc, which is right below it, the Fearless Hyena and Fearless Hyena 2. And then the third disc, The Young Master. And the fourth and final disc, My Lucky Stars. So it has this continuation of this font and the red color and the white, or sometimes there's a little bit of a beige or I don't know what it, maybe light caramel pudding color. I'm not sure. Beige, soft off-white color, so I think they're divided up very well. And very nicely. And I like this font. I like this use of the red and white and the artwork. It's great to see some of the artwork here. Just take a look at that, which is also duplicated very nicely in the Blu-ray menus, which I'd shown over the course of these videos. Let me point out art. Art director Sarah Habibi, Eric Skillman, illustrator Kyle Baker, designer Eric Skillman, and art production coordinator William Breeze, and art assistant Julie Sussman. So well done. I love this artwork. Jackie Chan artwork and the font usage. Very well done indeed. And then going to the booklet, which would be part of this packaging, but I just removed it for purposes of this video recording. It's a staple booklet, robust. I love the staple booklet, so hurrah, bravo to Criterion for being able to do this. And it features some pages that are film specific, but then it also talks about pages about the masters, which I've read over the course of each of the film discussions on page 28. But also one of the strengths of this is the essay by Alex Papademas, Bugs Bunny in the Shaolin Temple. And that's where it begins. It's a great comprehensive essay going through the history and charting the history of Jackie Chan's career during this period, touching on a lot of the key points of, say, the mid to late 1970s, and also the legacy of Bruce Lee, the sort of crossover in terms of the production histories with Golden Harvest and Lo Wai, and then Lo Wai, and then Golden Harvest. So it has a kind of circularity to it, which I think is very fascinating. And then it has the way that Jackie Chan was trying to forge his own, say, cinematic character or identity in what could be said in some circles, in some ways of viewing the trajectory of cinema here at this time to be the period after Bruce Lee. But as we know, as history has shown us, Jackie Chan wasn't the new Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan became Jackie Chan. So and it's a great, it's an interesting way in which this essay touches upon how that came to be, and what he did in terms of forging his own legacy, while it could be said to be still very much respectful of the hugely popular legacy of Bruce Lee. But to get that sense here of Jackie Chan's legacy, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. It's great stuff. And then there are some moments here of the essay that speak about the films themselves in the context of the trajectory of Jackie Chan's career. Some great examples of facsimile poster artwork, etc. Great stuff. I'm very, very pleased with this essay. It's my strong recommendation, as always, to watch the films first, and then you can read the essay. So it's my strong recommendation here. But once you've seen all 6 films, and indeed other films in the Jackie Chan canon during this period, then you can return to this great essay, Bugs Bunny in the Shaolin Temple. Fantastic part of this overall set. So at the end of the day, it's not, I wouldn't call this the most perfect set I've ever encountered from Criterion. It's not the most perfect set that I've ever encountered in the context of Jackie Chan film releases, but it is, I think, quite good and enjoyable, and I enjoyed myself very thoroughly. And even though that there are certain criticisms, that I have made, there are a lot of strengths that I have also encountered, including the additions. And I once again have to point out the great strength of the commentary tracks for 2 of the 6 films. And those commentary tracks are each provided by the great Frank Chang. One for The Fearless Hyena and the other for The Young Master, both of which, in fact, are directed by Jackie Chan. So that's one of the great standouts of this set. So if you're interested in some great commentary tracks, you're going to get them here. This is, some of the best commentaries. And so I love the delivery, and I love the comprehensive nature of it, and I love the enthusiasm. And the detail, the degree of detail, and the command. I forgot to mention, but during the Young Master discussion, Frank Chang was just so in command of even things like the discussion of music and musical cues and the planets, which is a key musical piece that's used throughout most of the Young Master, so he knows exactly what work is happening, and also some other film music that's involved, so he understands some music from John Barry's score of what he acknowledges is probably Game of Death or others. So, it's great stuff. And so he knows his stuff, and he knows it, but he's presenting it in a very, very casual and easy to just very approachable way, and so down to earth. I'm a great admirer of these commentary tracks. So that's a standout for me in this set. So this has been my 2 cents when it comes to this release from Criterion, Jackie Chan, Emergence of a Superstar. So if you're interested, please check it out if you can. I hope you enjoy it. So with that, my dear friends, let us end our discussions of the Jackie Chan Emergence of a Superstar set. Thank you so much, as always, for sticking around and watching the videos and checking out what it is I might have to say about these things. I'm as always very appreciative of your time and your willingness to stop by and watch video, even if it's just for a little bit. I very much appreciate it, my dear friends. So, but with that, my dear friends, let's end those conversations here. There are a few more Criterion release conversations that I wish to have between now and the end of the year. As I'm making this video, we're almost at the end of 2023. We're not quite there yet, but we're almost there. But there are a few more Criterion releases that I'd like to talk about before we end 2023. But with all that is happening, I know things are busy. I know things might be, for some people, things are going well. Maybe for others, maybe not so well. And I don't know what your personal situations are. I'm not sure what the circumstances are for you at this very moment in time. But what I can say is, whatever the case may be for you right now, at this very moment, as you're watching this, whatever the case may be, whatever the circumstances are, whatever your situation is, I always hope that you continue to take very, very good care of yourselves and very good care of your family and friends and loved ones. This is very important. I hope things are well, or as well as they can be. And once you have taken care of the important things, and when you are in position and situation to be able to do so, I very much hope that you continue to watch a lot of great movies, my dear friend. And let me know anytime you find a new jewel in your ever continuing cinema journey. As always, I'm always happy to hear what it is you have to say. But with that, my dear friends, let us end this video discussion here. So thank you so much for your time. And so until the next video, my dear friends, stay strong, stay safe, and cheers.